Welcome, everyone. We're live. I'm joined by my friend Valerie. Hi, Valerie. How are you?
Hello, Beth. How are you tonight? I'm good.
I'm great. This is our kickoff show for the new look of coming out. And so I'm a little bit nervous. I'm excited to see everyone in the chat. So I'm going to go ahead and go down and welcome everyone who's come in so far. So we have Myra. Hello, Myra. You were first. And we have Rita. Hi, Rita. Thank you so much for coming and supporting this channel. Maggie Doodle. Hi, Maggie. Thank you so much. Always can count on you, Maggie. I believe Maggie and Myra are my moderators tonight. Thank you so much, ladies. Lisa C., it's great to see you here. And Helga. Helga's my hairdresser. Thank you so much, Helga, for the great cut and color. I hope you approve of the way I did my hair tonight. And also we have Carol, Bargain Shopping. Thank you so much for coming, Carol. It means so much to me. And we have Summer is here. It's so great to see you guys. Tonight we are, my name is Beth, for those of you who have not been to this channel before. And so the previous name of this channel was Coming Out Late. We were focusing on people who have come out of the closet, LGBT plus later in life, but we realized that we can reach so many more people if we simply call it coming out. And so I'm really excited for the name change. I think we'll reach a lot more people and hear their stories. So to kick off the new name and the new look, I'm going to be doing a giveaway on my next live stream. So I thought I would go ahead and show you the 6 items that I'm going to be giving away. And then after I show you, I will let you know how you can register to be in the drawing. It's super simple, okay? All of these have rainbow themes. So, but if you're not an LGBT person, you can still enjoy them. All right, I would also like to welcome my wife, Jania. She is watching tonight. She's not in the chat, but hi, Jania, I love you. So the first item is this rainbow plastic tumbler, and it comes with some rainbow colored pens. That's the first item. And then the next one is this tumbler, and it has a lid and a straw. I think it's dishwasher safe even, so that's awesome. The next item in our giveaway is this really cute rainbow puppy dog, new with tags. And he would be great for a child, a grandchild, niece, nephew. Anybody would love it. Super soft, squishy.
So cute.
Yeah, I know you probably want to win that one, huh?
I like the first
Okay,
tumbler.
the next item, say that again.
I like the first tumbler.
You do like the first tumbler? Hi, Valerie's here. Thank you, Valerie, so much for joining us. The other Valerie, Chick Picker, is here. Okay, the next is this message board, and it says, today is my magnets. Kind of a glare there, but you see, you get the picture. So. And the next item is this. It's like a plaque you sit on your desk. It doesn't have anything in the back to hang it with. It says, always choose joy. You sit in your windowsill, on your desk, something like that. And the final item that I'm going to be giving away, if I can get it out of the box. Sorry about that. Sorry. Only on live would this happen. Getting stuck in there. Is this cute rainbow pillow, and it's decorated with pom-poms, right? And it's plain on the back. So if you want to be registered in the drawing, all you have to do is comment down below in this video and tell us what your favorite color of the rainbow is. And then next time I go live, I will draw 6 names randomly, and you can only win one time. And you have 10 days to claim your prize. And if you don't claim it within 10 days, it'll again, and that's for a future giveaway. So that's another way we're celebrating. Isn't that exciting? Whoa.
When
I'm in a different space here, and I'm very limited in my space. Go ahead.
When you say comment down below, do you mean after the video in the comment section or in the chat?
Yes. No, in the below the video.
Okay, comments.
And I don't know, are you able to comment now? I don't know. I'm not on it. I don't have YouTube up, but I'm not sure if you can or not. Okay.
Nope.
What were you saying? You can't
No,
on yours?
you have to wait till it's over.
Okay, wait till the video's over. Okay, and it does, just for those of you who don't know much about YouTube, it does take a while for it to load. But if you go back to your original link or wherever you got the link from and hit it, it will take you to the video. But if you try to do a search for it on my channel, it won't come up for several hours. So that's how you find it. If you can't find it, it is there, it's hiding. All right, so now to celebrate the kickoff tonight, I have a video for you guys. I put it together. Hi, Dottie. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for coming. Yes, Myra, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet are the colors of the rainbow. So I put together this video, and what it is, it's a compilation of some of our past guests. And I looked at each one of their stories and picked out something that I thought was super special or unique about their story. And I titled their video that way. And I hope that if something speaks to you, that you will go back and watch their story if you haven't heard it already. And, give these folks some love. It is very scary to do this on camera. And then after the video plays, I'm going to tell my story, Valerie. So I'm a little bit nervous. So, and also speaking of Valerie, I really appreciate you co-hosting tonight for me, Valerie. Originally had Dawn scheduled. And for those of you who know Dawn, who's a subscriber to our channel, she and her wife, Mary, had a tree fall through their kitchen ceiling today. So they are dealing with that, and they don't have electricity. So please pray for Dawn and Mary and send them some love and good thoughts, okay? All right, now I'm going to try to figure out how to share this next clip. So just give me just a second here. I'm really new to this. Valerie and I are going to mute ourselves during this video, so.
You want the other screen, Beth? Please stand by for
got married to a man and spent about 15 years with him. At that point, all through that, I had been kind of understanding that I was kind of attracted to women, but not pursuing it. And after a while, and my husband was aware of that as well, but after a while, it just became something that I couldn't ignore anymore. So we decided to have an amicable break, and we got a divorce. And then I met the love of my life at that point, which is my current wife, Mary. We've been together 20 years. We've been married about 4 years now since it became legal.
I just
So that's where we are.
I couldn't function. It was just so devastating to me. One day I went back to my mother and I said, Mom, why is it that you're treating me worse than a murderer? I mean, literally, if I would have murdered somebody, you'd probably visit me in prison. You know, what's up? And so this made all the difference. So if you're listening to this, you're going through it, or you're going to go through it, or you know somebody going through it, this is real life here, okay? She told me that it was her responsibility to make sure I made it into heaven. And that even if I hated her in this lifetime, at least I'd make it to heaven, and the next lifetime we'd be together.
I went back a second time, like 6-8 months later, and told him that I really wanted to come out because I was being torn. There's different feelings about my sexuality and who I wanted to be with, and things weren't working out for other reasons in my marriage. Came back from the trip, and at the time, our marriage was on the rocks anyway. So at the time, we shared one car, and I went to work, and my ex-wife picked me up, and I got in the car, and she asked me if I was gay, and I said yes. So when I did say yes, it felt like a 1,000-pound weight had fallen off my back. Decided to get a divorce. She asked me if I hid behind the marriage. Yep, and I want to say no. I truly did love the ex-wife and had children with her. It's just when things started going south on her end, that's when I started opening up that door and realizing that, you know, I wanted to have this more than that. So, but I also knew in the back of my mind that I had to be a true father to my children, and I was going to stay in the marriage no matter what and raise a family with a husband and a wife as two instead of being separate. So
I don't think I could really say I have a coming out story because I really didn't do it. I just decided to be who I was and try to be more authentic, my authentic self. And I still have to work on it sometimes, you know, because, you know, and that's what it's all about for me, right? That's why I have the sign up there. I made a pledge to myself, I guess, to be authentic. You know, as I was going through the process of getting sober and staying sober, I made a pledge to myself to be more authentic in the things that I did and the things that I said and the people who I hung around with, and you know, and realizing who I was and coming out was part of being authentic. You know, you guys would not believe it, how different my life is because you know, just being authentic and finding the person that matches me or that I'm supposed to be with, you know.
And actually, last week was our 13-year anniversary. So we've been together for 13 years now. And they've all been exciting, and she still tries to get me to turn red. But But anyway, so I've had the I'm just grateful that I was able to find someone that the way that my wife says it, the way Lindsay says it, is that she kicked me out of the closet, because there's no way that I could be around her and not be seen as gay. And it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. People have to come out when it's okay for them to come out, when they're ready to come out. Mm-hmm. They shouldn't be pressured to come out, because it could be dangerous for them. It could be something that they shouldn't do. I would just say that they need to do what feels the best for them and the safest for them. And just to know that there's people out there that will love you no matter what. Another thing that I could tell someone that is having a hard time with this is maybe to think about also, you know, it would be hard to lose your family over this. It's really sad. It's a really sad thing that happened. But that doesn't mean that everything's over. There's friends, you have friends, there's people that become your family in this community, because we all understand what we go through and we all have our stories. And so to just remember that that won't be it for you. You can have so much more. You can make your own family. You can make whatever family you want if you need to. Yeah, and I would just try to give them support and listen, because I think that's what a lot of people need right now, especially right now. Just to let them know that people love them and that they matter, and their story matters too.
Nice
Thank
job.
you. It was fun making and heartwarming, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. That video is going to be posted tomorrow morning if anyone wants to share that with anyone who's struggling right now. I'm glad that you could hear it. I kept sending you messages, Valerie, but you weren't looking at me going, can you hear it? Can you hear it? Can you hear it?
No.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my headphones on, because I know that I get better sound that way. So if you'll just give me a second to do that. And then we'll get started. We're not going to be watching the chat. So my moderators, if you could just welcome anybody that comes in later. And then when the story is over, then we'll take questions, and we'll welcome everyone. So we just try not to interrupt the stories while we're talking. So that would help if I put that down. Ooh, there's feedback. You hear that feedback?
No.
Oh boy, I do. Am I too loud? Am
No,
I okay?
You sound fine.
Okay, great. All right.
So it's my turn to be the host.
Yes. Do you want me on full screen, ma'am, or do you want me side by side?
You can go full screen.
I do this. I'm a nervous wreck. I decided that, I'm asking other people to do this, and I didn't realize how nerve-wracking it is to get on screen and tell your story. And I have a very long story, so I'm going to just summarize it, and then you can just fill in with questions, guys, because if I was to tell the whole story, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, I could write a book about this story. So I'm going to go ahead.
We'd be here all night, right?
We would. There are too many details, and I have to leave them out. So I'm going to go ahead and put myself full screen right now. Yay. So I'm going to go ahead and tell my story. So I was.
You want me to ask you the questions first, or are you just going to go ahead?
No, I'm going to tell my story.
Okay. Yay.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So I was raised in Houston in a Protestant family, and I have a younger brother who's 6 years younger than I am. And so I always ask you guys to go back as far as you can remember. And so in elementary school, I had friends, but my best and my closest friends were always tomboys. And so they were the ones that caught the frogs for me and squashed the bugs and lifted heavy objects. So they were kind of like my protectors. I do remember getting a few butterflies back then, but I didn't know what that was. So fast forward to junior high, and in junior high, I didn't have boyfriends. I had, feminine friends who were totally boy crazy. And, I had crushes on boys, as well, but I didn't have the butterflies, right? So starting in 9th grade, I started actually dating boys. And I typically dated boys who were 2 to 4 years older than I was. I mean, they could get me into the clubs, they could get me drinks, I could go dancing and do all the things that all the other girls were doing. And so I enjoyed dating guys, I enjoyed being around them. But what would happen typically is after a little while, the guy would want to start doing physical things, and I would just freeze, just totally freeze. It wasn't because I was scared I was going to get in trouble or anything like that. It was more like being repulsed. And I don't mean to offend any guys out there. I don't think we have any men in the chat right now, but I couldn't do it. I got no feelings whatsoever. And so typically what would happen is, after a while, these guys would just disappear on me, right? Because, that's what guys do, right? They want more. So when I was a junior in high school, that's when I met my wife, Janya. We met in the band, and still didn't have the butterflies. We had a friend who was going through some drug problems. And so Janya and I decided that we would support her, and we would drive her to and from the meeting every week and to the parties. And what they did in these meetings was they hugged a lot. They hugged a lot. And so when we would drop each other off at our houses, we would hug each other, and the hugs got longer and longer. And we ended up leaving school, going to her house, into her garage, and just holding each other. And forever, I don't know if it went on for an hour, I don't know, but we would just hold each other, right? And it just felt so right. And it just felt great. And we didn't want to let go. At least I didn't want to let go. And so one day my dad caught us holding each other in my bedroom. And he called her father and he said, "Look, I think our girls have a relationship going on, a sexual relationship." And we denied it, just emphatically denied it. I don't know about on her part, but on my part, I didn't get it. I still didn't get it, what this was. And so a little while later that year, we went out to dinner, and she was always dedicating songs to me and things like that. I found it flattering, but the bell still didn't go off. So we went out to dinner one night, and she had written about 10 or 12 poems for me. And I started reading these poems, and I'm like, oh, she feels about me the way a boy feels about a girl. And that's when it was like, ding, but I still didn't feel it. I still didn't realize what it was. And then just one day, I don't know what happened, but I just remember we were in my bedroom, and I told her, I said, I love you. I'm in love with you. And so this was my senior year, her junior year in high school. So we started this 5-year lesbian relationship, and she's my soulmate, guys. She's the only one I've ever truly loved. So I went off to college. She still had another year in high school, and that was one of the hardest years we've ever had. So we made this pact that every night at 10 o'clock, we would say out loud, "It's 10 o'clock, I love you." So we did that. Well, then the next year she came up to college, and when you're a freshman in college, you have to be in the dorm for a year. So we changed dorms at least 3 times that I can remember. Every time we suspected that anyone had seen us hold each other, kiss, or had any suspicion, we moved to another dorm. Because at that time, this was 1981, you could get kicked out of school for that. And we were petrified. So the next year, which was my junior year, we moved out of the dorms. We moved off campus, and we lived, I want to say we lived a wonderful life together. We were in love, but it was hard, guys. We lived with our blinds drawn. We never went anywhere without one another. We never went to parties. I can't think we had like one friend, and we never did come out to her. You know, all these college people that you talk to, they always say, oh, I made all these friends and I went to parties and college life was so wonderful. We didn't have that experience. We only had what the two of us shared. And by that last year, my senior year, I was getting ready to graduate. The stress of being isolated like that, it just broke us down. It broke our relationship down. I knew that I was going to need to get a teaching job. And then if I was ever found out, I would lose my job. I knew that my family would disown me. She knew her family would disown her. And so I'm the one who broke up with her. We've talked about it since then, and we've decided that there's no way we would have made it. The only solution at that time was to break up, because there's no way we could have come out. At 20 years old, when you think you're going to lose your entire family and you're going to lose your job and have no way of financially supporting you when you don't have your family helping you, is, you know, it's so scary. So we broke up. We made a pact that we would always tell each other if we moved away, so that we always knew where we were, you know, in the United States or wherever. We could always somehow get a hold of one another. And I got married. My first marriage was to a man that everyone thought I should marry. That lasted about 2 years. It was very short-lived. The next marriage, I married this man right away. I think we got engaged within a month. I picked him because, number one, I loved him. He was a great guy. He still is a great guy. I probably would say I love him like a brother. I have no, you know, sexual feelings towards him, but I knew he would be a great provider. I knew he would be an awesome father. And more than anything in this world, guys, I wanted a legal marriage and I wanted to have children. And so I thought, you know, I can do this. I can marry him. I can have children. I can have everything that everybody else in this world has. Nobody's ever going to find out about it. And I'm going to stuff it. And I'm going to put my kids in a fundamental Bible church. No one's going to suspect. In fact, maybe I won't be gay anymore. Maybe, you know, this will work. Because I had tried to pray the gay away many times. So we got married in '89, had children. I was a really good mother for a while. I was a great wife. I was a great mother. But then it all broke down. I think it was about 2006. And I really don't know exactly what happened, but I know that I was starting to be drawn to some women that I would see out about that looked like Janya, or they talked like Janya, or they acted like Janya. And I'm thinking, all I could think about was, this isn't over yet. Like, this isn't gone. This is supposed to be gone. So what did I do? I started stuffing it. I was afraid I was going to come out. I was afraid of coming out. And so I started drinking, heavily drinking all the time. I put my kids and my husband through hell for, you know, probably about a year. And I had 2 very close calls that December with suicide. The second one was the most severe. The police were called. They came into our house. My children were home. My husband was not home because he worked nights. So imagine being 2 kids. The police are coming into your home saying, we need to find your mother. She's in danger. That was a real wake-up call for me with the pills, but I still continued to drink until 2008 heavily. And I regret that so much because it hurt my family so much. So I had this plan that when the girls were grown and out of the house, I would break up with my husband. I would move to Oregon because that's where I'd been hearing all the great things about Oregon, that it's liberal, I'll be accepted there. This was my plan. And I could be myself for the first time. Well, I just kept drinking. And my therapist told me, I guess it was around 2008, she's like, Beth, if you're waiting for the right time, if you're waiting for your kids to be grown and out of the house, you're going to be dead by then. You're not going to make it. I'm already going to tell you that. So I somehow got a hold of Janya, and we talked on the phone, and we started seeing each other. Not proud of that, but I'm happy that I, got to see her again. And towards the end of the year, around October, we decided that it was just time. It was just now or never I was going to come out. Now, I hope I don't cry in this part. I probably will. I said I wasn't going to, Valerie. If you're watching this video right now and you're thinking about coming out and you have children, I want you to listen to this. This is the most important thing you're going to hear from me tonight. I regret so strongly the way that I came out to my children. What I did was I was teaching at the time. The night before I came out, I crammed everything I could cram into a black garbage bag, and I put it in the trunk of my car. The next morning I got up and I kissed my children goodbye. I went to work. I called my husband and I said, meet me over at my friend's. I met him over there and I told him I was gay, and I told him that I was leaving the family. And if that wasn't enough, I told him, I can't go back to the house. You have to go back and you have to tell the children because I can't face them. That was my biggest mistake. That is my biggest regret. And I'm just telling you, don't do it that way. It's bad enough that children have to hear that their mother is not coming back, but to hear it from someone else is heartbreaking. So we got back together. In 2009, Janie and I went to Vegas and we did a commitment ceremony. We had already married ourselves when we were 18, back in 1980, and we consider that to be our wedding day. I've always felt married to her my whole life. I've always wanted her last name since I was 18 years old, 17 years old. And then a few years ago, when marriage came legal in Texas, amazingly, we got married legally. Some of our family members were there. Our bosses were there. As of last month, I'm out to everyone. I think the last person I just came out to was my cousin. And we're out, we're proud, we're happy. And I'm living the life that I was meant to live with my soulmate. God wants you to be happy. God does not want you to live alone. And I was alone all those years, even though I had a family around me, I was alone. And now I'm myself. And that's my story. So I'm going to put Valerie back on here. I didn't think I was going to cry during that part, but I did.
I almost did.
So anyway, we're going to open this up to questions. And I know there's some things that I said that probably y'all didn't know about me. And I am ashamed of the way I came out. And, that's just how it happened in my life. And if I had to, but again, I tell my kids, one of my daughters asked me, are you happy? And I said, I felt like I could be a better mother to you if I was alive than if I was dead. So if that makes me happy, then I'm happy. So anyway, I love you too, Rita.
Yeah.
Thank you, Valerie. I was petrified. So I think I summarized it. Oh, I did leave one part out. Can I go back and say one more thing? When I was in high school, I had a
Okay.
lady that was like a mother figure to me. And I called her up one day and I said, I have a really dark secret I want to tell you, but I'm afraid you're not going to love me anymore. And she said, oh, Beth, there's nothing you can't tell me. I'll love you. If you're on drugs or you're an alcoholic, we'll take care of it. It's okay. The only thing is if you're a homosexual, then, and that right there, that was my senior year. And I was just like, can't come out, can't do it, So anyway.
Very true. Very true. Chick Picker says, yeah, you did the best you knew how. You know, I mean, you can, I don't really want to regret choices that I've made. We've all learned from them, and they make us who we are today. You know, and you've had to work extra hard with your relationships with your daughters.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it makes them stronger.
Thank you, Helga. Helga knows us as a couple personally, and she says we're a beautiful couple. I really feel like when we're out in public, people can tell that we're in love. And I like that. I like knowing. I'm always asking Jenny, do you think they know we're a couple? She's like, I don't know. Well, I want them to think we're a couple because I didn't have that before. So thank you, Dottie.
Times were very different back in the early 80s.
So we'll open this up for questions if any of you have any questions. Valerie, do you have any questions for me that I can fill in?
I think you, I wrote them down. How did the children take it, and how is your life different now? You already pretty much answered that, though.
Well, no, I didn't talk to you about how
the girls reacted.
The girls reacted. So this happened in October. I was not invited to Thanksgiving, and I was not invited to Christmas. That was devastating. I remember that Thanksgiving, Jenny had to go over to her mom's, and she had to come out too, by the way, her family. That's a different story. But she was able to go to her mom's for Thanksgiving. I was not. And that was the first time I'd ever been alone on a holiday in my life. And I was just so upset. That first year we were together, I was basically on autopilot. I could do nothing mental. She had to take care of everything because I was just a zombie. So my youngest girl, I think, contacted me in December after Christmas, and we got together. And my oldest one is the one that's having the hardest time with it. My youngest daughter, the way she dealt with it was she got really involved in theater, and she had some friends that were gay. And she actually had a friend who went up north to pray the gay away. He went to a program to get rid of his gayness, and she saw how miserable he was. And so she came around rather quickly, I would say, within a year. And everyone just kept telling us, just give it time to heal, you know. My other daughter, my oldest daughter, when I left, she became the wife, basically. She had to do everything, you know, cook, clean, you know, and so I know she resents that. So that's another part of the story right there, right, that she had to deal with. I raised them in the Bible church, and so she was still going, and so she, I believe, still believes I'm going to hell. So she's still having a really hard time with it. But that's the reason I put Marion's story up there. You know, I have to look at it. This is her religion. This is what she believes. I'm not going to be able to change the way she believes. All I can do is model for her, be the best person and brother that I can be. And, you know, if she doesn't come around, I've tried. You know, I've done the best I can do. And, you know, she hasn't disowned me as a mother, so I'm thankful for that. At one time, I really kind of thought she was going to, but she hasn't. We're just not that close. So I'm hoping that one day things will change. And what was the other question? How my life is like now? Yeah, I've already.
How is your life different?
Yeah, my life is different because, well, my family knows, and it was very hard for my parents, extremely hard for my parents. But I don't feel like I'm walking on eggshells anymore around my parents. They know. I don't think especially my mother, doesn't approve. But they love Jania. They like her as a person. They just wish it was a different situation, I think. I think my dad would come around if it wasn't for my mom. But he's going to stick by whatever. They didn't come to the wedding. He thought about coming to the wedding. But then when she said she wasn't coming, you know, he wasn't going to go without her. So he supported her. But, yeah. So, and then surprisingly, my grandmothers who were in their 90s, they were the ones who, like, I'm not sure they didn't agree with it, but they didn't even skip a beat. Like, they're just like, you're my granddaughter, I still love you. And they both grew to love Jania. Always asked about her, wanted her to come visit. You know, I just think they would have rather it not be that kind of relationship, but they saw us happier. Everybody that I know from my past life, it's funny, all these friends that I lost, some of them are starting to come back into my life, and they're starting to friend me on Facebook, and some of them I know is just out of curiosity. It's not that they really care about me. Those people I kind of weed out, you know, but some of them have really started coming around because they see that I'm still the same Beth that they knew, and I'm happy. You know, I'm happy. I'm smiling, and I used to never smile, you know. So
and laugh.
Yeah. So we have any questions at all? Did I say everything? Usually we have questions.
Everybody's just so entranced with your story, they're speechless.
Yeah, well. So, like I said, there's so much more there, but that's the gist of it. And it's really great to be able to have a channel like this, I think, for people to tell their story at least just one more time, and get it out there, you know, for others.
Times have changed a lot. I mean, the kids these days don't they don't define each other, I think, by their sexuality. You know, there's just a lack of judgment, you know.
Yeah, there are still people out there though that are wanting to come out that are scared. And I would say especially the older people, because they have lived lies. I always taught my children to be truthful. They didn't get in trouble for whatever they did misbehaving as much as they did if they lied about it. If they told a lie, that was the biggest thing. So I always told them to be truthful. And I said, I'm not living a truthful life. I'm being a hypocrite by living this lie. And so, you know.
Helga asked, would you do anything different?
I certainly would have gone back to the house and talked to my kids face to face. At that time, I just could not do it. I could not confront them. I think really from the way my kids talk, it was kind of relief that I was leaving because they had dealt with the alcohol for so long. But it still was upsetting to know that you're having daddy do the dirty work because mom can't fess up, you know, and come tell her herself, you know.
Right.
And so someone who's scared to come out right now needs to be on this channel, needs to reach out to people who understand. And I'm here. What's going on? I'm losing Valerie. I'm losing me.
I'm here.
Having trouble connecting. Unstable internet. Okay. Coming back. Unstable internet. Sorry. So I'm here for you guys. If you are thinking of coming out and you're scared and you just want somebody to talk to, you can always reach me at comingoutLate@yahoo.com, and my Instagram is coming.out.now. I'm always here for you guys, and they just have to reach out for somebody. And if they don't have somebody to reach out to, that's what this channel is for. So, if possible, if you would have went back to the house, you may have backed out of your decision. Possibly. I know Jania was very scared of that. She parked the car down the street and in a parking lot. And then once I talked to my husband and he left, I drove my car down the street. And I know the whole time she's sitting there in that parking lot thinking, she's not going to go through with this. There's no way she's going to go through with this, you know. And
a really hard choice.
Yeah. And so you're probably right, Valerie. I might have seen their faces, heard them crying. On the other hand, they might have said good. You know, I know that they were relieved that I was actually out of the household because of all the drinking, all of the things that I had put them through. But it just wasn't a good way to do it. Hi, Patty. Welcome. Thank you for coming. So Maggie says, I feel sad that there are still people who are fearful about simply being who they are. Yeah, we have to, we have to be their support system. And we had a really good friend who got married on Saturday to her wife, and she mentioned that in Houston, they wore shirts, like wifey number 1, wifey number 2, and they got nothing but thumbs up from people in the restaurant, and they were so excited about that. Now, when Janie and I first came out, we would go places together, and depending on what part of town you're in Houston, you could either get dirty looks or smug remarks, or you could just be ignored like no biggie. It just depends on where you are in Houston, and it's still like that. We have a lot of redneck boys that still live around. Our next door neighbors was a really good example of that. Don't really want to have anything to do with us, and that's fine. So I would say maybe the 50 to 80-year-old range right now. Those people, some of them are still in their convictions, right? They're still stuck in, nothing's going to change that. Maybe if a dog comes out, but once you hit 80, 90, and you realize you don't have that much longer to live, you start thinking, what's really important in life? Beth is happy finally for the first time in her life. Am I really going to, kick her out of my life as a granddaughter when she's finally been happy? No, they weren't going to do it. So.
You and your wife look so happy together. I love that picture you just posted this weekend.
Yeah, we were on our way back from getting our hair cut. So she doesn't want me to take her picture. So if I can get a picture with her, it's very, very rare.
well, Helga did a very nice job on both your hair.
Thank you. Yeah, she's awesome. So,
I don't have to drive to Houston to get my hair done, though. Jeez.
Jania's family is good to me. Yes, they are. Her mom and her sister both accept me. Her mom had a little bit of trouble at the beginning, but I love Jania's mother. They were like my second family when I'm, growing up. I mean, I used to go on trips with them, and, I say growing up, for those 5 years, I used to go on trips with them, and I considered them my second parents. And there was another reason. Coming out, they were going to be disappointed in me too. What they felt mattered to me as well, because I was close to their whole family. So I was worried about that too. But they are good to me.
Nice to just be able to be yourself now.
Yeah, Jania's mom was actually at the wedding, which was a huge step, So anyway, if y'all are on my Facebook, you can just go and you can see our wedding photos, and it was a great day. But we have 3 anniversaries, so we really only celebrate the one from 1980. That's like that to us was our marriage.
40 years.
Yeah. With a little bit in between.
Yeah, but
So she says she waited for me,
That's so sweet.
She waited 27 years, basically. Maggie says, my mother had friends who were a gay couple, and we as kids, of course, had no idea. We just knew it was these 2 guys who would take us for rides in their car, and we had such fun with them. That's the thing. It's different when it's your own kid, because my mother was friends with a lesbian couple, and they came over to the house, and it was known, and she invited them over. My grandmother had a gay couple over every year on Christmas Eve. They brought me stuffed dogs every Christmas Eve, plushes. Everybody knew it. For some reason, as long as it's at arm's length and it's not your family, it doesn't matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Looking back, it was a shame that they had to pretend to not be a couple. Yes, yep. We in college, we had to put on all these facades. We had 2 bedrooms in our apartment. My bedroom had my bed in it and all the stuff, just as if someone lived there. And then when my parents came over to visit, I'd kind of mess up the covers a little bit to make it look like somebody'd been sleeping in there, and put junk around, to make it look like somebody lived in there and studied in there. We never went in there. We went to great lengths to hide. Great lengths. Jania probably knows, I can remember more than I can about some of the bizarre stuff that we did to hide.
Creative.
Yeah, we had to get real creative. In our dorm room, we used to put our dressers in such a way that they were kind of like in front of the door, and our beds were behind the dressers. So because in college, people just go in and out of the rooms constantly. You don't even lock your door. And we wanted to lock our door, but we were afraid if we locked our door, people are going, well, why do y'all lock your door? Nobody else in the dorm locks their door. So we had this buffer, right? It was these dressers with these high mirrors. So if someone came in, first thing would see a dresser, and then we'd have a chance to, move back, right? But there was one day somebody walked in and we didn't hear them, and we think they saw us hugging, and that was like time to move out.
Yeah, that's sad.
We'd get kicked out of school. The heck with losing our friends, we get kicked out of school. So Dottie says, I agree, Valerie. As long as two people are in love with one another, that's all that counts. Yeah. So where's Jania? Jania's watching, Helga. She's watching. I don't know if she can type in the chat because I don't know if she has a YouTube account, but she's watching, and that makes me even more nervous.
You don't have to hide anything from her.
So again, guys, don't forget the drawing is on my next live stream, and so be sure you check back and comment your favorite color of the rainbow, so you will be entered in the drawing. And I just appreciate you guys so much for being here. It made it so much easier for me. And Valerie, I appreciate that you were the one that I looked at when I was telling my story. So I know you're a little nervous because you're like, well, I can't relate to it, but you did great.
Heck, I didn't even know you were gay when I first met you.
I know.
So yeah, I don't look at someone like, what they are. It's like, that doesn't make them who they are. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. We're going to close now. And until I see you again, all of you, may God keep you in his pocket. I love all of you guys. Bye.